I feel like the Slark pick though, like it's nice in theory against Morphling because you can leash him and he can't waveform away, but I'm just scared for like the early game for them. Pangolier is like, I feel like Pangolier does better against Slark than he does against most carries. So I'm kind of curious to see how that matchup plays out. I haven't actually played the matchup since the Pangolier changes.
How does that work with the Dark? Well, I guess if he's silenced, but if he's disarmed, you can't Dark back off that, right? No, you just stay disarmed.
I don't think Pango, I don't think the heroes really do anything to each other in this lane. That's the thing. Like, they just kind of both exist, but for Pango, that's good, because Pango's laning phase is probably weaker than Slark's in a lot of aspects. So, the fact that he's maybe going to have a lane is really good for NoPango.
So NoPango. Got the final ban. Is that OD ban coming?
For the record, you can pact off Huskar disarm as well as the Pangolier disarm. I don't exactly understand like where they decide these mechanics, but like you can pact off the silence if you've already started the pact. But like obviously, if you get silenced, you can't pact.
Is it just Halberd that you cannot
you can't pact deafening either, right?
Yeah, you can't pact deafening blast. Okay. So like it's pretty inconsistent. That's what I mean. Like
wait, in Dota, no.
Yeah, you know, I've played enough Slark to like know the random interactions, but like you know, I've tested these things against like Huskar and stuff because that's a hero that generally builds Silver Edge, so it is like a relevant counter pick if you can pick it.
Interesting. Okay, well, TIL.
Yeah, just write it down, you know, just remember it all. That's all you gotta do.
No,
remember each individual interaction.
Adding to my notes here that I don't have. All right, final ban, Skywrath ban coming out from NoPango. Interesting choice there. I guess against Morphin that could have been pretty good.
It has to be OD, right? They just banned Pugna.
It's also for like the double Nether Ward, double blasting, I think, from Morphling.
Oh yeah, true. Replica.
That's really scary.
Are we thinking this is going to be a Vengeful or Dazzle Core right now?
I personally like the Dazzle Core better against the Morphling, but I don't know. I feel like both heroes are weak against. They like need this other core that's good against Morph.
5 seconds remaining.
Okay, well I'm not gonna spoil.
You react. I'm like, wait.
I was waiting for it.
This is something we've seen TNC do. So I would have liked to see that be a core. Like as a way to respond to the Morphling.
Are we seeing Tiny mid then? I guess.
I don't know. I feel like
Dazzle
I think Dazzle mid and then Venge Slark and then Tiny Shaman. I think would make sense to me for lanes.
10 seconds remaining.
So you don't think that's a Shadow Shaman core? No chance.
I'm
of
saying
that?
like 4 position Tiny with 3 position Shaman.
Okay, even that too. Okay.
But I don't know these teams at all, so for all I know, I could be wrong on 3 of these positions. So
yeah, it's hard to say. Not watching their recent games at least. Very interesting, and no doubt that's catching NoPango a little bit off guard too. It's one of those where even with 5 heroes, you're not too sure what they're doing. But they're gonna go with the Lone Druid. I guess kind of a safe hero. That logic.
He wins most of his matchups mid. Pretty good just against Shaman in general. Ranged hero can easily kill the Serpent Ward, so it does feel like a pretty safe pick for them, given at least the laning stage that you're going to have.
So Vengeful's off lane. BZZ's playing it. You got Dream on the Slark, of course. It's a matter is, I don't know, is that who's playing the Dazzle? That's a long name.
That might be Miposhka. I'm not sure which one is which. So
I use Tiny. So Miposhka's on Rasta. So it is actually a core.
Okay,
Dazzle.
That's G then, who's their mid player.
Yeah.
I assume at least. Or maybe not. Maybe it's a standard or something since he's tagged up differently. Not entirely sure.
All right. Well, drafts have finished. Before let a couple of you go, as well, first things first, take a look right there. You head over to es.bet. You can put your bets in, and you see the odds definitely favoring NoPango. Again, we kind of talked about that going in. One of the more favored teams out of the group stages, at least. You can take advantage of the insurance also in play here for the WePlay Winter Madness. Again, that's es.bet. BSJ, give you a chance first. Take away the teams, the drafts alone. Do you like either draft or?
I just, as a Slark player myself, I feel like his biggest weakness in any patch, including this one, is the fact that the other team just groups up as 4 or 5 heroes and walks down lanes. And I feel like NoPango's kind of, with his last pick, geared up to do so. So, yeah, I favor them because they're the better team. And I also feel like Slark is going to have trouble getting enough momentum to have impact in this game.
GoDz, what about you?
I'll definitely second that. I mean, I think it's hard because, yeah, my bias towards NoPango as a team is definitely not many teams say they've beaten Virtus.pro in BO3s recently, so they're one of those teams, and Naive's Morphling has been pretty unstoppable in a lot of the games that I've seen, so I feel like NoPango should have at least this first game.
And we get to see a Pango on top of that. I love it. I love it. I'm excited for that. Naive, as you mentioned, on Morphling. Obviously, even just in the group stage, it's got to see it a couple of times. Did very well, very comfortable player. And as I was mentioning earlier, I mean, you can just tell comfortable players on this hero and how they use that morph specifically in and out in fights. And definitely very versatile with, you know, kind of in the moment. They're not looking to get one specific hero every time. They're kind of taking what they can get when it comes to taking things over. So we'll see how his play comes in here. But I suppose, Draskyl, I can ask you as well. I mean, your thoughts on the drafts as we now enter the game?
I mean, I guess I'm just gonna parrot the other two because they're just right.
Okay.
I don't know. It's really hard for Slark to play games like this. Like if you pop off in the early game, you get like a super early Shadow Blade, and you make really good movements with your team and like smoke and stuff, and like stunt their momentum. Then sure, you have a Dota. But I can very easily see that just completely failing just because of the nature of the heroes. Like a lot of them are really tanky. There's a lone druid. Morph is pretty hard to lock down in his own right. We're gonna see a nice roll in here. To the Slark. Just a little bit of pressure.
Damage, but yeah, he has pounce, he's fine. Good.
But yeah, it's gonna be up to, I think, like what can come out of like the Tiny and the Venge, because you're looking at a game like this and you're saying, okay, what can we do to create chaos? Like, what's our thing that we can bring to the table that's gonna stop NoPango from hitting their game plan? And that's basically abuse the fact that we have a lot of stuns and we have a fair amount of damage, and obviously like winning the lanes will help too. You got a Dazzle, that hero's pretty good at winning at lane, but if you are against Lone Druid, this one is a little bit closer, I suppose. We'll have to see how that plays out. And it looks like we're splitting the bounties 50-50, so no one too worse for wear there.
Yeah, a little bit of musical lanes, as he called them here to start. Dazzle is going to head to the middle lane, though, sure enough. Got there a little bit late to the block, though, so we'll be favoring Lone Druid in that case, at least. And now you see the top lane, Miposhka. He's in trouble. This is probably a kill. Yep, a last auto attack from Lich Slayer. He'll take credit for it. So, yeah, he was rotating over, like I said, the musical lanes early on, and they just simply caught him on the way.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting the tri lane, I guess. They put the Morphling up here. They really want to protect Naive in the beginning of the game, make sure he gets what he wants. And in response, I think he just TP'd bot. Yeah, okay, so it's going to be 3v1 and 3v1, I guess. So the Tiny is going to be down here with the Slark. They get a nice little shackle on Tagastic, and he's going to go down too. But this is the correct response, I think. A little bit unfortunate that they ended up losing the Pango there, but...
Yeah, he's going to come right back bottom, so... Yeah, we've been seeing more of this too with 7.2, I feel like, especially in this tournament. A lot of teams, at least they'll start tri-lane, go for their first couple of kills, you know, really secure that farm on their core, if anything, and then eventually start rotating. But yeah, the early tri-lanes, seems like we're seeing it more than not, at least this last week here.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, like when I think about it, the thing that really kind of rings true is that in dual lanes, so much weird stuff can happen. And a lot of the time when weird stuff happens in this patch, the games end very quickly. So it only takes like a handful of mistakes and the game can just be completely out of your hands at that point. So it's better to just like guarantee a secured lane and just be like, okay, we're going to get something here. And then we can just, you know, make our adjustments as the game goes as we need them.
All right, now at the top lane, Morphling, he's 5-5, but obviously contesting against the Vengeful and the Tiny. We're in the duel lane themselves now. Morphling, throw it a pause. All right, gonna talk things over. Early laning phase here, apparently lagging. But yeah, again, guys, this is game number 1 of our second of 3 best-of-3s here in the playoff match. Winner of this will move on to play Alliance in the quarterfinals later on in the week. So quick pause, back into it. Once again, looking to maybe make a play at the top lane. Yeah, that's the thing. The new Lich just obviously feels so much better to play. You know, GoDz and I were talking about the other day. It's like to say, it's these sexy changes here. As far as BZZ goes, he's just dead. That Frost Blast is not new for Slayer and the Lich, but definitely coming into play right there. But he's a lot more useful as far as aggressiveness in the lane now, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they gave him a freaking stun. His new armor is ridiculous. You basically can't kill a hero with physical damage if that thing's on. You just have to, like, disengage if you don't have a way of, like, locking him down or bursting or anything like that. So, yeah, the hero's utility in the lane, definitely higher. They're going to get a kill on the Tiny in the meantime, another roll in. from Zayak securing the kill. But as far as the hero in general, I just like the fact that it's not just like the brainless sit in lane cast sacrifice. I could not stand that playstyle, even though it was very effective in some games. I just hated it.
Yeah. Very, very simple. And now, obviously, he's a really old school hero, so it's part of me is like a little surprised that they did make changes to him eventually. But it's almost like, you know, why not put down maybe a different hero? But as you pointed out, I mean, just because it's an old hero doesn't mean it was right all this time.
Well, that's Ice Frog's thing, right? He likes to shake it up, and I respect that. Because if you leave a game like this, you know, the same for too long, it just ends up becoming boring. It doesn't matter like how good the game is innately. If it's the same game, you're eventually gonna get sick of it.
Things changed in 7.20, that's for sure. Bottom lane, look at this Slark, by the way, 16 and 13. His CS essentially free farming his dream.
Yeah, we talked about this too, though. The Pango is obviously like a really weak laner. Top lane, PCC.
Probably dead. Cross shield, you're just mentioning that. Just such a strong ability. You cannot get away from it. It's not only that great defensive tool, but offensive, it's also really nice.
I think the Tiny actually ensured that he died there. I don't know if he meant to toss the Venge, but he certainly did.
Whoops.
And this mid lane is, it's actually favoring the Dazzle, but I think as soon as the Lone Druid hits level 5, it's going to be a bit concerning. Nice polar smash there.
That slows now, still trying to get used to that, but slow on top of that Lone Druid. He has to run away, so Dazzle will survive, but at least our Spirit's here to, I suppose, save his own teammate, if anything. You take a look again, there's ES.bet odds. You head over to ES.bet. You can place those odds if you like, as Dazzle is dead. That's going to help the odds even a little bit more for NoPango. He just rolls right back in. Again, Zach comfortable on the Sort of Spirit.
Yeah, the Lich even rotated. Like, casual Lich just running across the map. I suppose they didn't necessarily have any vision that could see him. I think that's a Radiant word. So yeah, they didn't even see him walking down. He just casually walked in, armored himself, and helped the Earth Spirit get a kill. These rolls from Zayak, though, have been on point so far.
Yeah, I mentioned he played it a couple of times in the group stages. Obviously, it's one of those heroes that, again, if you're comfortable on it, you make it look easy. It ain't. It's obviously a hero that takes practice, but that's what practice will do for you. As Bounty Rune's coming out, it ends up being a 2-for-2 split between the two teams. I keep looking back at that Slark, though. Yeah, Slark is just going to have a fantastic start here. You expect that early Shadow Blade. How dangerous is that going to be for NoPango? Are they really going to have to be worried about that, or can they actually deal with it, you think? Let's hold that thought.
I mean,
because middle lane, he's fine. The toss wasn't necessarily what they're hoping for, and Poshka couldn't get the crowd control off now with Slayer. It's up being a 3 versus 3, and they're going to lose Dazzle in the end. The Frost Shield helping Earth Spirit. They might kill Rasta as well. The Bear chasing him down and Tangle. Nope, not going to happen. They're still in hot pursuit, though. There's the roll. Connects, and that should be the kill. The block. Zayak's good once again.
I mean, a Shadow Blade being early is definitely going to be good. Like, because even if you don't use it to fight, you can use it to cut waves. You can create pressure on the map. You know, just even being off the map creates pressure when you have a hero like Slark who can like solo kill like your Earth Spirit, for example, or maybe even the Pango or the Lich. If you threaten kill potential and you're like not showing on the map, that makes the enemy team scared, right? And I mean, sure, BSJ was talking about, okay, well, they'll just 5-man and stuff, and that's absolutely true. But realistically speaking, NoPango don't have that much catch. So if you're an early Shadowblade Slark in this game, you can easily cut waves. Like, it is so hard for the enemy team to stop you from doing that.
Middle lane, so they're jumping in right there on a Dazzle, but looks like he'll be fine initially, although Silence comes out. Good job of the Avalanche, though. Rotation from Tiny is here. He's running with a Haster, and Zayak, Frost Shield helping him a little bit longer. He will go down, though, in the long run. So good rotation from Tiny. Definitely not only saving Dazzle, but getting the turn kill. And that's a 3-kill streak stopper as well that Dazzle will benefit from. Nice little bounty.
This game is just action-packed. I don't think I've seen a Lich rotate so much in my entire life either. That guy is just everywhere.
That's what he can do now. As we were mentioning, top lane, I see Rasta rotating behind the Morphling up there. Morphling right now top farm in the game, and that's why he was so far up, because they're busy killing Vengeful. So not much Rasta is going to be able to do now. He looks like he morphed into Vengeful, as you even see there, using it for his benefit.
Yeah, this hero, if left unchecked, is pretty ridiculous, in my opinion, because you can't... Like, no solo hero can really walk to Morphling's lane once he's had, like, a good start and really, like, threaten to kill him. It just won't happen. You need to bring like 2 or 3, and even then, it's it's not a guarantee. And I think mid lane as well, Tangle there onto the Dazzle. He's just gonna fall over. But you were mentioning this is a hero that he plays a lot. Like I haven't seen too many of NoPango's games so far, but if it's a hero that he's comfortable on and it's this good of a morph game, I think we can expect some big things.
Yeah, I would probably say Knife is definitely one of his top 3 heroes for sure right now, as far as his role in hero pool goes. So, yeah, again, continues to be top net worth. Right behind him is that Slark, as we're talking about, but especially with that kill in the middle lane, Lone Druid going to enhance quite a bit. And I also noticed Dazzle, a build that we do see a lot lately, especially in that core role, is Hold Up Thought, because top lane, BZZ. And the Frost Shield's up. What do? I guess a rotation for Dazzle, but he gets silenced as soon as he TP's in. Great silence right there. Prevents him from healing him a little bit more of Shallow Grave or anything else. Anyways, Dazzle also goes down. Maposhka at least gives the Hex off in the middle lane on the Bear, but again, it feels like it's delaying the inevitable here. Ghost Stick still in hot pursuit. Swashbuckle 1 second. He's got it now. It connects. One more attack will do him in, and here comes the momentum for NoPango.
They're just making kills happen everywhere. This Shadow Shaman is having like the hardest game of his life. There's like the Earth Spirit can just get to him so quickly. Oh, this is a nice rotation actually coming in from Dream. It's in the he died to the neutral. Oh no.
Meant to do it. They're chasing Dream, but I don't think they're gonna. Well, he actually doesn't have pounce for another 10 seconds. Rolling Full Thunder will hit. It's a couple of times right there. He's going to pop a Shadow Dance for this. Swashbuckle connects. He's disarmed currently, and you know what? They do run him down. So Salar finishes the job on Lone Druid. Good pursuit.
Oh, man, that was painful, actually. I thought he was going to get the kill at least, and then the guy dies to a neutral, and then he still goes down.
Yeah, hurts.
That hurts. Like, the Slark moving around, I mean, I kind of get it. His team needs his help. Another roll in here on the BZZ.
They're just not stopping, man. That Gaze going to pull him back in. Trying to eventually get the kill. No Entangle proc's really happening, though, so unable to do so. Swap on a Slayer there. I want to go for a turn on a Lich, but that might just get BZZ killed now. It is. He goes down because of that, and Lich wasn't even touched, so clearly not on the same point. Yeah, this is the action of this game. It's heavily favoring NoPango, of course. Up 14-3 hero kills right now.
I guess we can definitely justify the first pick Earth Spirit at this point. Because Zayak is just walking from lane to lane, just like rolling in. Has he missed a roll yet? I don't think he has. It's been like 10 minutes, and I think he's hit 100% of them so far, and that's crazy. Like, if you have an Earth Spirit player like that, definitely warrants a first phase. Yeah. Because this hero, he got changed a little bit in 7.2, obviously, but he still brings a lot of the early game aggression. His early mid game is really strong too once he gets to magnetize, which he'll get, I think, after that small camp. So yeah, his influence in this game has been insane in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, you see Slark is, I don't want to say making up for him. Obviously, he's still farming very well. Still trying to go that Shadow Blade though, but he's still even a step behind the Morphling now, especially with the death that he suffered earlier. You got the casual Morbid Mask on Morphling. He's going to be swapped in, though, shifting over to that Strength. Here comes that roll from Zayak. He's here to save the day once again. BZZ in the Sacrificial Lamb just morphs into Vengeful, and once again uses his own weapons against him. So just when you think Empire Faith has some chances, they're trying to make a play on a Morphling, which makes sense, but they go down for it. Now, Slark does solo kill Ghost Stick at the top lane, so talk about recovery for Faith. That's at least part of what they need here in this game.
That's a really big kill too. That's 450 gold for the Pango. That's a lot of money. He's now more than halfway to his Shadow Blade now. Things like that can completely change the complexion of the game for Dream, at least. Because once he gets that Shadow Blade, a lot of opportunities open up. I mean, sure, if they start getting 5-man and stuff, that's going to be a nuisance. But again, we talked about the creep cutting potential that he has. Just the fact that if he's not getting ganked by like 3 heroes, it's really hard for them to actually isolate the Slark and take him down. It's the same thing for the Morph, though. On the side of NoPangolier, we saw that kind of swap play when they tried to kill Naive and they tried to open into like a stun, but they don't have another hard disable besides a Shadow Shaman. So he needs to be like in position to like insta-hex if they're going to try to open up with a swap, because otherwise like stun or avalanche doesn't work anymore because you can just still morph.
Yeah. You saw Dazzle right there. He is farming up the Necronomicon. That's what I was getting at earlier, especially in the core Dazzle roll. It's an item we see. Going to go so well with his bad Juju there, as far as the cooldown especially, so not really surprising to see that. He'll get the level 1 at least and progress from there, but I assume you feel the same way with the Necro pick.
Yeah, Necro is just, it's way too good of an item to not get on that hero, honestly. The CDR is really what makes it. Like, obviously it lets you farm, you can fight with it, you get the minus armor from bad Juju and everything else.
Ghostig. He's pressure in the top tower. Going to get Slark to come in at least and scare him off for the time being. You see Ghostig is working towards a Vanguard. An eventual Crimson guard this game. May not be out of the question. Ways down the line, though. He's going to be supported by Lich up here if they want to make a play. But you look at the mini-map, Empire Faith, they have multiple heroes coming in. In fact, 4 to the 5. The only one not here is at the bottom lane. You see BCC, he goes down. So back to the top lane, maybe? Come on. Well, they're going to kill Pango, it looks like at least. Yeah, they catch him, and they also catch Slayer off to the side. The Chain Frost is bouncing around. Miposhka getting low because of it, but not low enough, it looks like, although Earth Spirit's now here as well. Miposhka having high for the time being. Dream's in trouble. Shadow Dance going to be activated, though. They kill Lich, but now Dream has to respect the damage coming in because Naive jumps in, hiding with that Shadow Amulet right there. Miposhka, he is going to fall most likely at the end. Yeah, Shallow Grave only delays the inevitable. And we're going TPing out as well as TPing in even. Several different heroes.
Yeah, that was actually everyone who was bot TP top from the side of NoPango. And I mean, that's definitely what they should be doing. If they're feeling stronger in the fight, there's no reason to let, you know, Empire Faith like run rampant all over your support players and kill your Pango for free. You should definitely punish. And plus it turns into an easy tower because the lone druid TPs, and we already talked about how Empire don't really want to try to 5-man right now because their team is not built for it. Like, they don't have any quote-unquote team fight. The middle lane, Tiny getting dove here.
Yeah, they're trying to help him out. That them being Tareem comes in, so Zayak is actually going to fall for this. So they do kill Tiny, but Zayak is down. Pounce does not connect on a Slayer, so cannot really follow that up either. But ends up being a 1-for-1 in that middle. And now Lone Druid here to push this tier 1. Perhaps he's got Power Triss now, and I believe the quad Wraithband. It's the meta right now. On heroes like Lone Druid.
Flashbacks to like the first week of the patch when Wraithband was just insane.
Oh,
like
yeah.
The value of it was just off the charts. All right, so Shadowblade here on Dream goes for the pounce.
Oh, you see it right there. Somebody had mentioned that. I wasn't 100% sure about. Shield Crush does get out of the leash there from Pounce. So
yeah, you can't swashbuckle out of it, but you can Shield Crush.
Yeah. Oh, bottom lane. Take a look here. Dazzle's getting low. Obviously, Shallow Grave saving him for now. The roll in, not even needed. Now he finishes off the job. Back to the middle lane. Miposhka getting back low on life, but he's got a salve.
What have we here?
I'm going to smoke immediately towards bottom. Those 15-minute bounty runes just spawned. They would love a kill on somebody. Earth Spirit's going to be that target. Zai, can he roll out? Oh, nice block indeed. Slark with the block, and now Zai's like, well, crap. What do I do? He pushes him away for now. He's still good for now. Naive. Nearby, TPs are coming in as well. You do not want to overextend for this kill, guys. Out comes the Frost Shield, and, well, Draskyl, they're overextending. Dream's now in trouble, too. They kill Miposhka. They're going to go after Slark. He's got the Shadow Dance to help him out, but that only helps so long. Dust even comes out. Zayak, wouldn't it be something if he's the one who gets the final blow? It's not going to be the case, but Morphling will take it. A double kill. What is Tiny doing? He wants to kill something. That was ambitious. He goes down, too. That was just a little over the top in the end.
This is looking a little bit like a beatdown to me, Breaky. I don't know. This Morphling has 10k net worth, and the next highest in the game is on his own team, and it's 6k.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at this point, we already knew that it was going to be a decent Morph game when it was picked. I think it was like, what, 4th pick or something like that? And then the last pick, Lone Druid?
Yeah.
So we kind of assumed that the Morph was going to have a pretty easy time. This goes a little bit beyond expectation. Like, I thought that the hero would have a good game. Didn't necessarily think he would be, you know, like 11, 12 kills deep at 16 minutes, and them also have like a 9k advantage. No,
he's playing this well, and he's already got the SNY now. The IF Scotty coming up next. SNY really feels like it wasn't bad on him before by any means, but it feels like it definitely got a bit of an upgrade, especially now with the status resistance that comes with it. So, Morphling.
I always thought SNY was really interesting on Morph because he's a very stat-oriented hero. So you can just sit on lower amounts of pure strength because of the Sanj, and then you just get more damage out of it, right? So that's kind of how I always looked at it, even before they changed the item in general.
Okay. Well, IF Scotty good for that too. Which is coming as they take out the mid tower with these. Pango's got a haste rune bottled up. He's going to pop that and head towards the bottom. Zayak's already porting down there. So they want to make a play. Necronomicon minions coming out. Fortification wearing off there. Slayer. He's going to pounce away into a swashbuckle. Now comes the Rolling Thunder. He actually gets sheeped as he was casting it. Now he is going to go off, though. And Miposhka definitely dead for this. Magnetize taking him down as well. Only hit him, though. Dazzle did not hit, but it doesn't matter. Godlike streak for the Morphling now. Just the same thing over and over again from NoPango. 10,000 net worth lead, 17.5 minutes in. This is game 1 of this best of 3. It's looking like a 1-0 lead for NoPango is pretty possible near future. And you take a look at those odds, they've gone down even a little bit, make it a little more tempting for the Empire bet as far as odds go. But, I mean, NoPango's in full control here. Going to head over to es.bet to place said bet if you would like.
Yeah, this is looking like maybe even a potential high ground soon. They can Roche very easily as well, just because they have the Lone Druid Bear to tank. And if you get baited into a pit fight like that as Empire, and I don't even know if they're strong enough to fight with wards. That's the scary part. Like, even with Shadow Shaman wards, I'm not sure if they have the damage to, like, kill the Morphling, for example, or at least get away from the fight unscathed, even if they do. So now you have to think about, all right, what do? We got to play the map. So the Slark is doing, like, the sit in the enemy jungle thing, maybe cut a couple of waves. That's definitely good. You want to stay clear of fights for at least a little while. I'm not even sure, Breaky, like if I'm being completely honest, if there's an item that's going to actually matter. Like,
probably not. Not right now. It's like down the line.
Like, the Tiny would need to conjure up a Blink Dagger just out of nowhere. Actually, does he have Blink right now? Let me look. Okay, he's not even close. He has 2 bracers in his stash. So because he doesn't have Blink, like there's no easy way to get on the Morph. And they're actually going to lose a Slark in the meantime in the top lane. So he just died. Did he solo die to the ES?
I think, well, no, because somebody else was there with him, it looks like. He was trying to cut the creep wave, I'm pretty sure. And ES as well as Pango got him.
Oh, okay, Pango was there too. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So he's out for 27 seconds. That's not going to help their cause. Swap play, but is that really going to do it? BZZ, he's going to get a shallow grave. Zayak is dropping right here. He does go down, but at what cost? Now Chain Frost bouncing around. Maposhka will fall. Tiny trying to keep his distance. Looking naive, though, again, taking over the Vengeful, using the magic missile to his benefit. One more attack needed. Pango's like, I got this. Swashbuckle to complete it. Slark's coming up in 5 seconds, so they will prevent this high ground push essentially from happening, but they lose multiple heroes. They use a buyback, and we're just now hitting 20 minutes into this game. So NoPango's very pleased with the outcome there. Scotty is just about finished on Morphling already. 20-minute Scotty with an SNY on top of that. How do you kill this guy?
This guy's gigantic. Honestly, I don't think he'll die this game. If he dies, it's going to be because of a misplay. Like, that's pretty much the only way he's going to go down.
Yeah.
I mean, they used Shadow Shaman Ward's bot, so I'm kind of surprised that NoPango aren't emphasizing just walking to the Roche pit, because the Morphling still does a tremendous amount of damage. You can do it quite fast. Even without any real minus armor on any of your heroes. But I guess at the same time, they're not really pressured to do anything if they don't want to. They just need to not get picked in the meantime. Zayak.
Like you're mentioning, not get picked. Well, there is a pick. Iron Spirit there, but you just see Naive all of a sudden show up. Dream takes that burst damage from Adaptive Strike. He's got to fall back. BZZ, he'll eventually fall to the shallow grave most likely, as that Rolling Thunder just knocking players left and right. It does knock Slark up to the uphill, and the pickup on a Lich as well from Tiny there, but that put him in a bad spot, so he goes down. Slark's just sitting here like, do I go? Probably not. You're going to run, and they are going to think about Roshan now, perhaps, as a Desolator was just delivered to Lone Druid mid-fight.
Yeah, this game is looking like they might not even need to walk to the Roshan pit if they don't want to. They can just go up to mid lane. I gotta say, like, the beginning of this game, it looked a little bit, like, chaotic, and then when the dust settled, like, Zayak just absolutely destroyed them. Like, he killed multiple heroes top, he killed mid multiple times, like, everywhere that guy went, there were kills. And when you have that high of a success rate on your rotations, and you have these type of heroes that play this style of Dota that the enemy cores don't want to play, which is 5-man, the game usually ends up looking a lot like this, where you don't really have a plan B. So normally, like, these heroes would smoke up on the side of Empire and they would try to go for these kills, like your Tiny would have a Blink Dagger, you'd go in for the quick pick and try to create some space, but the reality is they just don't have the resources to do that. Like, they don't have the Blink on the Tiny. The Slark is doing what he can, but they're actually so far behind that he can't even really make the plays that he wants to, because he ended up dying last time he was cutting the wave. So this is, I mean, he might get the Lich here.
Get some plus agility. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, that's all he can do, and that's fine. Like, what he's doing right there is the correct thing to do. It's just, it's really hard. As BSJ was saying in the draft phase, even, that he felt like, as a Slark player, that he didn't think that this was, like, the best scenario. Yeah. But
well, easy Roshan. Aegis now. I'm almost surprised they give it to Morphling, honestly, because it's like, Was he really?
I don't think that guy's gonna die anyway.
Yeah. But I guess
was
it's
a weird play.
might as well. That did look odd as far as it hit him though, and now Slark he's trying to juke the best he can. The adaptive strike comes out to the shallow grave at the last second. It will keep him alive for now, but again, he's doing nothing other than just simply trying to live this whole time. He's going to pounce out. He will survive in the back lines. Never mind. He did fall. And they run him down. The magnetize up, taken as well. Earth Spirit loses his life, but they take out 3 with them. Very worth it already, of course, for NoPango. And Naivi's manning up against BCZ. No surprise there. The double swap play. Not too sure what that was supposed to accomplish, but it looked fun. He's dead, and Tiny, he'll be the last victim here. It's going to be a 5-for-1 in favor of NoPango, and it's a theme we're saying here, but it just continues to look better for them. And it's one of those cases, too, in a game 1 of a best-of-3, you kind of wonder how long Empire Faith is going to hang into this and be like, all right, we're just banging our head against the wall now.
Yeah, the weird part to me is that we saw the Morphling, and then Empire had a chance to react to the pick, and I don't think they picked anything that actually countered Morphling.
Right.
Like, Slark on paper, okay, you pounce him, you can't wait for him. Great. But how do you kill him? Right? Like, how do you actually threaten the hero? That's why when we saw the pick, I asked BSJ, it's like, hey, do you think they're going to pick OD? And he's like, yeah, I think it's pretty good. There's no CC in this game, really. There's an Earth Spirit, and that's it. Like, that's your roll-in stun. That's your initiation.
Yeah.
So in games where there's very little control and all OD wants to do is hit people, that seems like a pretty nice combo. But they picked Slark, so I'm kind of wondering, like, what the selling point was for that hero that they felt like that was the answer. Because after having like watched it played out, it didn't really feel like he played it particularly bad. It's just there's no options.
Rasta also was the final pick overall for Faith, and obviously he brings the crowd control a little bit to as somewhat of an answer to Morphling, but yeah, more so the core pick of the Slark is a bit of the questionable one, no doubt. And we did have the Lone Druid, of course, ultimate response from NoPango on top of that. So, yeah, clearly the draft just kind of favored NoPango a bit more, but also the outplay is most certainly there as well. We're seeing more of it here. BZZ Maposhka don't stand a chance. The Rax is now vulnerable, but they don't care about the Rax. They want hero kills. They want to pad those stats. GG's a call, though. That'll do it for game number 1. It's kind of expected for a while now with the way this one was shaping up. NoPango dominating victory in game number 1. The good news for Faith is there's still a game 2. We'll see how they adjust going in, but this was all NoPango.
Yeah, this is what I would call an outclass. Like, it's one thing to get outdrafted, it's one thing to get outplayed, but it was on both fronts, right? So when that happens, you just say, okay, this team just owned you this game. Let's wrap it up, try to go to the next game, maybe not do like the whole mid-dazzle thing. It didn't really feel like it impacted the game at all. And when you decide that late into the draft, because they first picked Dazzle.
Yeah. You
decide that late into the draft that you want to put the hero in the mid lane, and you don't even know what the mid matchup is yet because you picked the Slark 4th, then I don't know, it just feels to me like the drafting was not really on point, and they didn't really have a clear idea of what they wanted to do, because their last 2 picks just normally the later in the draft you go, the pick should do more. Like, the hero should be more impactful the later the pick, and that's why 10th pick we were talking about is OP. But there was like the opposite that game. Their last 2 picks did like nothing. So that's when it screams like draft problem to me.
Yeah, you also look at the scoreboard. If you were to just look at the scoreboard, not even the game, you'd be like, oh, they need to ban Morphling, 19-0-8, what a ridiculous score. But no, you ban the Earth Spirit. I think it's very safe to say.
Yeah, Zayak popped off, man. That was crazy.
Yeah,
he played so well that game.
He was the controlling factor early on, no doubt, that kind of set up the eventual snowball for the team. So definitely warrants a ban. At least we'll see if Faith agrees. But they got a little bit of time to think about it. We're going to head to that break. We got game number 2, though. Coming up next, NoPango, strong start, up 1-0 in this best-of-3. Will they advance on to the quarterfinals? Or will Empire Faith climb back and get a game 3 out of this? We'll find out next. I'm BreakyCPK, joined by Draskyl. Stay tuned, guys, and we play Winter Madness. We'll continue.